Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Banned from Ringside.
Tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast, we have your Revolution results and recap. AEW Dynamite was huge. Unless you think we're an all AEW show, no, we're not. Because we're also going to talk about how Edge is a heel now, a big-time heel. Is Stone Cold Steve Austin going to show up at WrestleMania? Is Vince going to fight? Dolph Ziggler's the new NXT champion, and your New Japan Cup results. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast.
Did you take a breath? No, I can see it right now. Here it is.
Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Mark. So welcome to the Banned from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Throw Jabba from the train. And sitting to my left, as always... That's for all the Gen Xers out there. Nobody else remembers that shit. For sitting to my left, as always, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
Good job, Vice. That's the shit. And on that lovely note, allow me to ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Banned from Ringside podcast, volume 247, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart saith, hashtag boo the heels. It is all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat the holy trinity of BFR. Your boy's kind of dragging this week. Life has changed in a big way for me. I'm back to working 2 jobs. They were trying to drag my narrow ass on both sides of the fence, but like Two Beer said, your boy's trying to get that bag. So I got a little Red Bull next to me this week because I know I have to work a double, and I know I cannot act right next to this man to my right. So I'm going to act a little responsible this week and just try to stick to the marijuana and stay off the booze.
And out there in Portland, Oregon, we have Two Beer Zach. What's going on, Two Beer Zach?
BFR West in the house.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Portland. It's sunny, in the 50s. Ultimo dragging on this cigarette and drinking a super fresh Northwest IPA. So things are good out here today.
All right, we are coming at you from, kind of chilly St. Charles, Missouri. It looks beautiful, though. We got a nice view of the sunset out here. The wife has started picking up shifts, so my nephew Cash is inside keeping an eye on the baby who should be sleeping. God damn, I hope she's sleeping by now. This single dad shit's got fucking rough, man. There's so much stuff to get to. Let's not fuck around too much. Let's get to that 3 counts.
1, 2, 3.
Hold on, before we get to the 1 count, I just want to say that Wrestling at the Grand Ole tickets have gone on sale. It's STL.
Got mine, baby.
I got mine too. STL versus the World. A loaded card. Go ahead and look up STL versus the World Grand Ole Wrestling, and you will see. I don't have it ready right now, but I will announce the card if you don't feel like looking it up, or if you're driving right now, I will announce it later on in the show. Sorry, let's get to that.
It's a great card.
It's a fantastic card.
Check out their YouTube page and their Instagram. That's another place you can check it out.
Tender Mahal is the booker on that show. He is the main booker. We're very proud of him, and I'm frankly not only proud of him, I'm impressed at the show that he put together.
He's done
really fantastic.
Yeah, he's put a lot of work into it.
Good job, Booker man.
Yeah, JOF has done his damn thing on this one, and I'm excited to see how this one unfolds, really and truly.
Me too. Jason, what's the 1 count?
And don't Google JOF.
Say that again?
I said don't Google JOF.
Please don't. Let's jump into it. We're going to start with AEW Revolution on Sunday night. Loaded card, and from one person's perspective, it delivered on multiple different levels. Even with the curtain jerker, Jericho versus Eddie Kingston, I thought that was a really good match. It wasn't too many lulls in the card. I was at Jinder Mahal's apartment on Sunday, and we were watching the card. It was getting towards the end, and we were all kind of looking around, and Vice was there. Vice kind of looks at me. He's like, man, Cole and Paige are fucked right now. And I'm like, you might have a point there, because it was really starting to get to the point where he had said this in the Punk MJF match. And I was kind of like, well, let's just see what happens. Britt Thunder Rosa was what it was. We can break it down after in a little bit. But then we got to Mox and Bryan Danielson, and then he said it again. And I was like, yeah, I got a sneaky suspicion that Punk and, not Punk, but Paige and Adam Cole, baby, are going to really have to work to get this thing done. Not saying that the main event was bad by any stretch of the imagination, but the bar was set so high at this point. It had taken some Herculean effort to get to that point. But like I said, we can break it all down from there. For me, the biggest takeaway, it's got to be Punk and MJF. I thought that was the match of the night. It told the best story. It elevated, if this is the end of this feud, it elevated MJF to more of a main event status kind of guy. It moves Punk closer to an eventual title match. Mox versus Bryan Danielson is probably my second favorite match, just because you had I won't say it was a kind of a flash pin, for lack of a better word, but then once you start to see the outcome, the breakdown of the post-match, William Regal comes out, he's smacking the taste out of everybody's mouth like they owe him some money, and he forces these two guys to shake hands. All I thought about was like, what the fuck is getting ready to happen? Because now you have so many options on the board to play with. But like I said, that to me was my two favorite matches, and the biggest takeaway from this whole thing is MJF is going to be the next champion. It's just going to take a little bit, because obviously he's going to have to deal with Wardlow in the meantime.
Zach, I'm going to say this like your favorite Pornhub stars. I now give you permission to come.
Thank you, Daddy.
Go ahead, dude.
Really, another all-time classic pay-per-view from AEW. I think it is truly special whenever you think about them doing these 5 shows a year. They build towards them, and they build meaningful stories, and they give stories time to breathe, and they don't give away the matchups beforehand. And it makes all wrestling fans who are not, cult followers, just an absolute reason to spend their expendable income on this. Like, I am not super flush. I suffer from the same problems that our listeners do. Everybody took a 7% pay cut this year, just strictly due to inflation, and gas prices were $4.75 for me a gallon for me to fill up my tank today. Grocery prices are outrageous, and I still could not wait to throw $50 at this thing, and I did not leave disappointed. So, we can run through the card. I will say, I'll echo Jason's sentiments. I think as far as match of the night, it was Punk and JF, especially for the ramifications coming out of it. But my personal favorite match was Moxley versus Danielson. I don't know how long my replay is available on Bleacher Report. I think it's only available for like 72 hours. So I've made the best of it, and I've watched Eddie Kingston Jericho twice. I've watched Punk and JF twice, and I watched Danielson versus Moxley 3 times, including that opening segment. And that is to say that I am not caught up on New Japan because I did all that. And
I got 2 jobs. That's my excuse.
Yeah, and I also took my son to see the Batman this week, which is 3 hours long in the theater.
2 beer is riding high, man. He is riding high. That's a 2 beer type of week,
no
man.
Shit. Okay, quick sidebar. How was Batman?
It is up there with The Dark Knight as the best Batman on film.
Ooh.
It's kind of 1 and 1A. It's kind of like how you want your how you want your Batman to be.
Okay.
It is a definite darker, very much gothier take, but it is it's like the first entry into this like Batman series, and it's very much like it's a magnum opus.
Okay.
And it plays on a couple of my favorite, as a longtime Batman fan, an avid reader of Batman comic books, it's kind of a blend of Batman Year One, and Year Two, like the Frank Miller stuff,
Right.
and The Long Halloween, which is one of my favorite graphic novel series, and it's brilliant. Paul Dano is superb as the Riddler. It's great. So, but yeah, go see it. It's worth the 3 hours. It doesn't feel like 3 hours either.
Okay.
It's like those matches where you watch a Kento Miyahara match in All Japan,
Right.
and it's like 60 minutes and it feels like 20.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
that.
No, that's fair. I heard somebody say something the complete opposite. So you're saying this.
You know, my favorite thing about Zach Pullman is he likes stuff.
He
does. He
likes
he likes stuff. He likes it. I mean, that's a good characteristic to have.
He likes everything. God bless him.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew when you asked him. I knew he was going to say something like that.
Go ahead,
And this
Jimmy.
time I'm right, though. This time I'm not a prisoner of the moment.
Good. I figured I saw you on social media saying you watch it. I was like, okay.
Dude likes stuff.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't mad at nobody.
Tell us what else you liked about the pay-per-view.
Overall, I know that I did love the quality of matches. I loved the depth of the card. But it was kind of a haul, especially because we watched the pre-show. I did like that the pre-show was a worthwhile show in its own right. It was 3 matches, 2 of which were TV quality and 1 was pay-per-view quality. The 6-man tag could have been on the pay-per-view. It was that good. And the other 2 matches would have been like a highlight of a Rampage. Although, the Layla Hirsch match, we can kind of run through the card. The Layla Hirsch, Chris Statlander match was a little sloppy at points. So, it was what it was. I don't really have too much to say about that. But yeah, Hook match was a Hook match, and it was fucking perfect for what it was. And that 6-man, Eric Redbeard, looked great. He might have got himself a job. He did a great job, and he was in there with some really serious performers. Really, top level stuff like that could have been on the pay-per-view. So overall, I liked the depth of the card. Some people were kind of complaining that it was too long, and it is tiresome. I mean, I sat my whole Saturday around it, and it was
Sunday.
kind of Sunday. Yeah, sorry, I sat my whole Sunday around it, and it was kind of an event. But I mean, there's 4 or 5 of them a year. That's just what you're going to get. I'm happy that I got my money's worth. So that's the takeaways for me. But there's a lot of stuff I have to say about the card overall. But I will say a funny thing. When Lord Steven Regal came out, I screamed so loud that my 9-year-old daughter, I mean, she's 9, she's almost 10, she started crying. I scared her because I yelled so loud because I was so excited about Regal coming out. So I felt terrible at the time. But yeah.
The reason that I stress when I said Sunday is because it's a different kind of haul for a Sunday night than it is for a Saturday night. And I thought that the pay-per-view was fantastic. I went and saw one of my favorite bands in the world, Parquet Courts, at the pageant on Saturday night, and it was with my brother, and it was with Ham. I mean, it was with MacArthur.
Oh.
There was like Bone
Yeah.
was there. There was like 10 people there. Kyle Connors. I mean, there was all sorts of people there. Kelly, and we turned it up, and then it was my dad's birthday on Sunday, so we went out there Sunday, and I was dragging ass. And when I got home at 8:00 p.m. Sunday, I went to bed. And I avoided all spoilers. I woke up at 7 a.m. to start work, how I usually do at 7 a.m., and I start watching the pay-per-view, and I'm just answering emails and stuff. So I'm not watching real close, but I'm starting to watch close. Jericho Kingston, probably...
Real quick before you get into it.
Sure.
I think we should run down the card, starting with them. But I will say... that's another reason I love living on the West Coast. That shit started at 4 p.m. for me.
Yeah.
So it was done by 9.
Yeah.
And I was in bed by my normal time.
Well, I got a text. I didn't see the text message from Vice till like an hour and a half after he sent it to me. Like, are you going out to Tenders to watch a pay-per-view? And I was like, I can't tonight, man. I'm just fucking dead. Like, even Aaron gave me permission to, and I was like, I can't. I'm dead. I went to bed, avoided all spoilers, and I will say, while I was watching it, the only part where I made any audible noise at all, just being tired after a long weekend of drinking and seeing music and bartending and everything, like, my Mondays are always pretty draggy. The only time where I made any audible noise was when Lord William Regal walked out, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, what the fuck? And it's like 10:30 in the morning, and I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Here we go.
Yeah, the room exploded.
Oh, man.
At Tenders, we were like, oh,
I bet. I'll echo your guys' statements. The match of the night was MJF and Punk. It was perfect. You know, Zach said last night on Twitter they have legit made like a big-time star out of Wardlow, and there is no question that if you take a guy from complete obscurity to make him somebody's heater, you know, probably a year ago or a little bit over a year ago for MJF, and then turn him into a massive babyface who everybody is rooting for, you couldn't have done a better job than what they did with Wardlow. You just couldn't. And him coming down and losing the ring and then setting the ring on the ring apron is about as perfect as it gets.
Oh, man, my man was like, oops, and bounced. I was like, oh, this is the shit.
I loved Moxley, Brian. It was brutal. I loved Kingston Jericho. I thought it was fun.
The submission, I thought, was the big takeaway. The spinning back fist, we all know, is his.
But the submission where Kingston didn't even know that he won was just such a nice touch that you don't see very often. It was such a nice touch.
When he came over to shake his hand or put his hand out, he's like, ha ha. Like,
dude,
that's
that
what's
was,
up.
That, and they were talking about it on Dynamite. That was legit for me. That was the best Eddie Kingston match I've ever seen, and it was probably the best Chris Jericho match I've ever seen. It was a 1990s All Japan match. Like, if you guys ever watch, any of the listeners ever watch 1990s All Japan, you know, with Misawa, Kawada, all those guys. Like,
you mean the best Jericho match you've seen in AEW, or do you mean the best Jericho match you've ever seen?
Maybe, like, I mean, in AEW, but I might even, you know, it was up there. He did some really great stuff in New Japan too. And I know that he had just absolute bangers in a different way when he was much younger, but he's much smarter now. And this is just such an homage. Like, for me, it was like the reason I respected it so much. It was two absolute, not just masters, but students of the game. And it was a direct homage to 90s All Japan. Like, it started and Kingston dumped Jericho on his head, and I screamed almost as loud as whenever Regal came out, because
it did
he
start
dumped
out
him
banging.
right on his head. And Jericho did such an amazing job of selling it. He rolled out of the ring, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, he got a stinger. I was like, he's 50. He might be dead, you know, like. And but that was obviously the point, because they worked the whole match around it. And then for Kingston to win with you know, Kawada's stretch plum is just absolutely phenomenal. Like, it was everything that you could have wanted out of this match. These guys just absolutely
Thoughts on the match, Jason?
over-delivered.
No, when I was at Tenders on Sunday, you know, one of Steve Patterson's friends, he asked me, you know, who I thought was going to win. I said Eddie Kingston right away. To me, it was not even a question. It was just how we were going to get there. If you'd have told me last Thursday when we made our predictions that Eddie Kingston was going to win by submission, I'd have looked at you crazy, because I'd have never even imagined what kind of submission he'd have come up with, or how Jericho tapped, or whatever the case may be. I thought this was the perfect spot for this match. I thought the match itself was really, really good. The submission was the cherry on top of the cake. And it started off this pay-per-view the right way. It was the best match to open the show with upon reflection, looking at the card. It was probably the best way to get the crowd invested, because you got Jericho coming out, they're ready to sing, and you got Eddie Kingston coming out, and you got a gang of Eddie Kingston fans. I thought this match was in the perfect spot. The right guy won, and like I said, the submission was the cherry on top.
I'm not sure it was the perfect spot, but I'm not going to spend too much time. Listen, I'm just going to put it out there right now, and it'll be the last time that I mention it. This was too long of a card. I know that you feel like you want to get your money's worth and everything, but 5 hours is too long to watch one thing unless you're Zach and you're watching the new Batman. Zach probably would have watched 5 hours of the new Batman. Jason, you're shaking your head at me, but by the time that Paige and Cole came up, you were exhausted. I mean, it was an exhausting. It's just, listen, you can have, this is how, this is a good problem to have, but if you're going to have AEW Dynamites every single week, you're only going to have 4 or 5 pay-per-views, which I totally enjoy. And I heard people saying on Twitter that they want 6 or 8, so maybe there can be less storytelling time in between. I totally disagree. I like the way they're doing it. I like that every Dynamite feels like it's must-watch, including last night's.
Last night's was. Yeah, you had to watch if you watch Sunday.
But how many times do we watch a Dynamite and we're like, oh, that was a down week? Not very often. It's not very often. It's just a little bit too long. And what it made me think is that I know you're shaking your head, and I'm sure Zach is shaking his head out on the left coast. But it made me really appreciate how great takeovers were. Because takeovers is just those 5 banger matches. Think if you distilled this.
Apples and oranges, man. That's why you got Battle of the Belts. If you want to do something like a takeover, you can go that route. You'll have the smaller little pay-per-views.
There were plenty of matches. There were matches on here when they had that AFHO match versus Darby and Sting. And that's supposed to be a popcorn match, and that was anything but. I mean, that was insane.
I'm surprised that Zach didn't say anything
By the
about
way,
that.
the Spanish Fly with Isaiah Cassidy and Sammy Guevara, that's the spot of the decade. That might be the most dangerous spot I've ever seen 2 guys do on purpose.
That's 6:30 last night wasn't exactly peaches and cream.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, and I thought he was dead after that. But I mean, that's the most dangerous spot I've ever seen 2 guys both voluntarily do. That means you take out every New Jack match.
I'm like, don't do it. Nope, they're doing it.
In fact,
I will say,
who won that match? The Faces won, right?
Yeah,
the Faces. Yeah,
Okay.
just to push back a little bit. When you do, I think, in the moment it might have been long because we watched the pre-show. But if you didn't watch the pre-show and you just go back and watch the 4-hour card,
I didn't watch the pre-show.
I know, but I mean, okay,
it's only 4 hours.
I'll say this, and this is just my opinion on it. If you're going to do the 4 or 5, whatever it is, I'm counting 4 shows at AEW pay-per-views every year, it's going to be 4 hours. This roster is too big for it to be 2 hours. If this is like your big 4 pay-per-views, you're going to have to settle in.
Well, then you have to have a popcorn match. There has to be popcorn
Okay,
matches.
well,
even the crowd that was there was exhausted by the time that Cole and Paige came out there.
I'm not going to disagree
and you
with
knew
that.
they were going to go for 25 minutes.
I'm not going to disagree with that. The popcorn match, looking at it, should have been that 6-man tag. And the next thing you know, all hell's breaking loose. Sting is all of a sudden decided he's going to jump off some shit. Sammy Guevara and Isaiah Cassidy going to decide they're going to jump off some shit. They did not make the bar any easier for when the main event happened, because now it's like, what are these guys going to do? Because if these guys aren't even close to this stratosphere, it's going to feel like a disappointment.
I'm going to take these not in order.
Well, we can just go through they followed it with the 3-way tag match, which you're like, oh, that was a great first match, and then they followed it with the 3-way tag. As soon as the Young Bucks music hit, I was like, oh shit! I'm like, all right, we're fucking cruising, right? And these guys went out there and just killed. Highlight of this match for me was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and watching it, I was like, these guys should retain, even though I picked them to not retain, because essentially those guys went out there and they were like, we're gonna bump our asses off for the tag team champions. Like, that's what they did. they went out there and bumped for Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy pulled out some new moves that I've never seen, some like crazy rope work and shit. And I was like, these guys just need to keep these belts because they are a phenomenal fucking act. Even as good as Red Dragon and Young Bucks are,
They were the best part of the match.
Yeah,
Jungle Boy and
they did.
Luchasaurus were the best part of the match.
I think by design a little bit, because obviously you have the Bucks and Red Dragon feuding, but if you're just looking at what we saw in the ring, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus definitely stood out versus the other four. It's not a knock against the Bucks or the Dragons. It's not a knock.
No, it's actually a testament to them that they went out there and were professionals and did what they were meant to do, which is let the champion shine, and they're retaining.
Right.
Like,
They also had some tag moves that I had never seen before, where they were rolling off Jungle Boy was rolling off Luchasaurus's back and doing cutters and shit.
Yeah.
Like it was.
This was like the first time I felt like they were a legit tag team, where I was like, okay, I'm not waiting for Christian to come in and fuck shit up. Somebody's going to have to come in and take the belt off of him.
And it's also like, when there's a really good tag team like that, we've been so conditioned to just think about, okay, what's going to happen when this tag team breaks up? But you never think about that with AEW because the tag teams mean something.
Well, we haven't had the one that I can think of off the top of my head. We haven't had one big tag team breakup yet.
Adam Page and Kenny Omega, but we knew that was going to happen,
Right.
and that was
I guess
they
are
the greatest story that AEW's ever told. So,
Let's keep it moving. What was next?
ladder match. So we had a big man ladder match, and the coolest thing about this was, some fun spots again that I'd never seen in a ladder match. Orange Cassidy really stood out. Whenever he skinned the cat to reach the belt, or not the belt, but the ring, and whenever he climbed up on the dude's backs to reach the ring, and it was a pretty safe overall ladder match, because the main thing you worry about with ladder matches is safety, and especially you got Christian Cage out there, and if you watch, Christian Cage didn't do shit, but it was awesome. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying it was super cool to see Christian out there in a ladder match, not taking any more time off of his career. And we, got the ending that I feel like worked best for the storyline of AEW as a whole, with Wardlow, taking the ring.
Yeah, ladder matches, multi-man ladder matches are hard to book, from what I can tell. Obviously, I've never booked one, but they seem hard to book because it takes a lot of suspension of disbelief to know that these guys aren't constantly going for the win. Like, if they wanted to win, they would just be constantly going for the win. Of course, we're all here for the ride. I thought that Ricky Starks was fantastic in this match. I also thought Powerhouse Hobbs was really good in this match. I liked this match. I thought the bump that Ricky Starks took at the end was pretty rough, man.
Unnecessary.
It did not look safe
at all. With the guy coming off of neck surgery, that's probably not the bump he should be taking.
And that's where you could probably use a little, maybe an older guy, maybe a guy like William Regal, maybe a guy they have those guys back there. Dean Malenko's back there, right?
Oh yeah, I would assume
he's
so.
An agent.
He would be, but he's had he's got Parkinson's, so I think he's got some time off because he's dealing with Parkinson's. But he is
somebody back there should be on Ricky Stark's shoulder, being like, "You don't have to do this, man. Just don't do this."
Well, Christian's that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian's the guy that
you're right.
Literally, his career was shortened because of the ladder matches.
Right.
So, but
I'm looking forward to him and Edge fighting the Hardy Boys in a ladder match sometime at All Out or something.
Edge is not coming over to AEW. Let's just get that off the table.
Never saying never.
Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say never on this one. All right.
What you think about that match?
I don't know. Edge is probably jumping the guardrail next show after WrestleMania.
You can't have everybody, okay? You can't.
Let me have my toy box. So Jade Cargill would take Auntie. Jade Cargill has phenomenal gear. She had a phenomenal entrance with some blues guitar player I was unfamiliar with, but I want him on every show now. He was just that good. Jade Cargill dressed like Jade from Mortal Kombat. And she started the match by kissing Kay Conti on the mouth. So that's low-hanging fruit. I'm just going to leave that alone. But
boo, this man.
I will steal a joke from Proper Jam on Twitter, Craig from the Brian Vinny and Craig show, who said Jade's double-sided tape was the hardest worker in this match because of her gear. But really, they teased her finishing it like really quickly, and honestly, it probably would have been better for it if Jade would have just like hit her finisher like right there. It would have kept the show moving a little bit, and we would have moved on from there. But I mean, they did absolutely fine. Jade is severely improved. Tay Conti as my most improved wrestler. We all know my sentiments on that. So very solid match. It was fine. 6 minutes. It was 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I thought if there was one match, for those who are complaining about something being too long, this is probably the match you could have probably did without. To me, though, the best part of the match was the entrance. Jade coming in. It felt like they were making her a superstar in her own right. Now, her facing Ty Conte again isn't necessarily the best way I would want to use Jade in this scenario. But now we're starting to get to the point where we're running out of opponents for Jade. Somebody's going to have to defeat her so she can come off the TBS title. And
Jade double belts. Here's the thing, man. Jade Cargill feels to me like if all the people out there, all the Vincels, all the AEW sexuals, everybody agrees that Jade Cargill is vastly improved and that Jade Cargill is a fucking star. You cannot get on wrestling Twitter and see one person say one bad thing about Jade Cargill. Well, I don't know. You're on there a lot more than me. I just feel like everybody is on board being like, okay, here's the thing. If you want to take this match off of the card to make the card shorter, that's fine. But then you have to put Jade in the Britt Baker match or something because Jade Cargill is a fucking star. She is a star. She's a star. She's a big, bright, shining star.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that in this scenario, the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match should have been better than what it was. Okay, let's just put that on the table, number one. If you took Ty and Jade away, you still have that match.
I'm saying you put Jade Cargill on there, and then you advertise the fuck on the pay-per-view that the main event on Dynamite is going to be Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, and then you let okay, fine.
You can't do that.
Well, you can pay him the same.
You can't do that.
Before we get too far into it, I want to run down the points. Coming in first place, we have Jason Cornelius Bell with 14 points.
Wow.
Nice job, Jason.
Thank you.
Nice job.
I'm surprised. I was waiting for you to be first.
You missed Statlander. You missed the heels on the Darby Allin Sting match. And you...
I picked the heels in that match?
You did. You picked
Damn,
the
I
heels.
must have been drunk.
Well, that's because Vice came over and brought the shots.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I thought that you had a pretty good night, dude. Zach had 11 points. Zach, he really shit the bed.
Stop it.
He missed Statlander. He picked Jurassic Express to come in last. Zach and I both picked Keith Lee. You picked Wardlow. That was a point that you picked up there. Everybody picked Thunder Rosa. Zach picked MJF, and I picked Adam Cole. I came in the middle. I had 13 points. I just want to get that out there. Before I forgot, some people are always like, "Hey, you have to give us the results. You guys do the predictions,
right?
And you never give us the results."
Sorry, Top Hat.
Jason comes in first. Bill comes in second. Zach comes in dead last. All right.
So
what was
CM
that?
CM Punk MJF. So we don't have to go over the drama. A lot of people had drama about Punk's AFI entrance. I marked out, not because I knew it was his ROH entrance. I'm not going to be that hipster to where I claim that I watched that, because I've said before that I did not watch Punk in ROH.
I didn't know it.
But
Neither did I.
I'm a big AFI fan, so whenever that music hit, I was like, this is cool as fuck. I just thought it was cool as fuck because it was AFI. I had no idea that it was his historic thing until Excalibur said it.
Have you ever noticed how much the singer from AFI looks like Bailey?
Oh, wow.
With her short hair, her Pam haircut.
You just made me feel feelings I didn't know I had. But so overall, though, it was superlative. These guys just absolutely did exactly what you wanted them to do. This was the match of the night. This is probably what a lot of people bought the pay-per-view for. If they didn't buy it for the depth of the card, they probably bought it for this match.
What do you think?
I mean, we kind of waxed on it before, but I'll wax on it again. I mean, to me, like I said, MJF, and I said it last week, he's going to be the next champion. How we get there, when we get there, I think is the ultimate question. But I think we took steps to elevate him in that position. I didn't know this was Punk's ROH entrance, so, when the room told me this shit, I was like, okay, there's no way he's going to lose this match now. You're not going to have him bring this new entrance in, bring ROH theme in, the whole shebang, and not have him win this match. It was impossible. That's the only knock against this match, because in my head, as soon as I saw that and they made the connection with it, I was like, okay, now how do we get there? From that point, MJF reminded me of Rock at a certain point when he picked up the mic and started talking shit. I was like, okay, see, that's what I'm talking about.
I was going to bring this up. Like, that's something that would bother me from a lot of guys. But MJF picking up the mic in the middle of the match.
It's MJF.
I was completely fine with it. And I thought it at the time. I was like, man, if anybody else did this, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? MJF is such a character, though.
Okay, that I was going to say, if it was anybody else, it would be out of character.
And Punk saying "Eat shit, Max" was perfect. The crowd, this probably could have been the main event. I know a lot of people are saying that should have been the main event.
I actually said it should have been a unsanctioned match because everything after suffered for a while, but it should have been like lights out unsanctioned. So the last match on the card, but not the main event.
I think it should have been the opener.
Right.
What?
Yeah, I think it should have been the opener. So then you have time to recover from it. Nothing recovered from this. Even Moxley, Bryanson, Danielson, whatever his name is, who I'm talking about.
That dude.
Even that match, the crowd was pretty slow going into it.
I will say,
go ahead, Tuber. Go ahead.
On rewatch, that was the main reason why I rewatched it again, because I liked the match, but I was suffering from that, and then the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match where it was basically looked like Ghetto booked it. I was just like very unenthused by that point because I was riding a high, and then it was like a Ghetto match. It was basically like Thunder Rosa versus Evil with with Reba playing Dick Togo, which I mean, Reba would never want it as a former Lakers cheerleader, but she can get this Dick to go anytime. Yeah, so, but in a vacuum, that Bryan Danielson, John Moxley match was like an amazing pro wrestling match. It's one of my favorite matches I've ever seen, and it's bolstered by the segment after it. But it did suffer because of that, and I think if a lot of people would revisit it, they would think more highly of it.
Yes,
so you're right.
I agree, but the crowd, it took the crowd a while to get back into that match because the crowd was exhausted by the MJF Punk match. Jason, you have your hand up.
Thank you. The floor recognizes good Jason C. Bell.
Hey, I'm the quarterback here.
Okay, thank you.
The floor recognizes Jason Cornelius Bell.
Thank you very much. I think the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match was more of the reason why the crowd was kind of out of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, I love Britt Baker. It's well documented. I like her character. Just like Gato or whatever you want to call it, this felt like WWE at certain points. It was just so much fuckery to the point where I was just like, okay, I'm now out of this match. Now I know that this was the only time I can honestly say that I was mad about what had happened on this whole show. everything, certain people who go over, that's great. Other people don't, that's fine too. This was the only time I got pissed because I was like, dude, this is some WWE shit. I get it. Britt Baker's got the numbers. She's going to have these people come in, but this really felt like the time to pull the trigger. I know we're going to talk about Dynamite and the repercussions of Dynamite, but for me personally, this was the match that I think because it was like an audible groan after Britt Baker won. When was the last time you heard the crowd, turn on Britt like that? Okay? More times than not, we all chant, DMD, we all get excited when, I won't say all of us, but the majority of us get excited, us Britt Baker fans. Okay, I get that part. She's over. I get that part. But there comes a time where you have to end this story. I get it. If it's going to happen, next week, fine. I don't think you have to pull the trigger next week. You could have pulled the trigger on Sunday and then lead into the rematch if you wanted to do that. Myself personally, I think this match was the lowest point of the night. It was the most disappointing match because I had, reasonable expectations coming into this. I didn't think it was going to be the match of the night, but I thought these two would have a good, showing or whatever the case may be, and it felt flat from the start.
Yeah, it did kill the crowd, and if you do take a step back, it did make it different than the other matches on the card. So I do appreciate the variety, and I appreciate the effort in the part of the booking that they did try to make each match feel different. And
don't defend this nonsense. Don't do that.
No, I'm not defending the match itself.
Okay.
I did not enjoy the match, but I'm saying if you do take a step back, where it is setting up for a better story because it does set up for a cage match, and we get a cage match on Dynamite next week, she will probably win it in her hometown. Now, if she doesn't win next week, now you got to me that you compound the problem. Why not just have those steps on deck right now? You know what I'm saying? You know what? No, I'm good. You know what? We're getting ready to walk into on this one. I mean, damn. It just felt too WWE for me. And at that point, when I started to see, Jamie Hayter, God bless her, she's getting involved. Reba's getting involved. You got a whole locker room that basically hates Britt Baker. Nobody's coming out to, bail her out. I was like, dude, you know what? I'm good. And like I said, that was the lowest point of the pay-per-view. And that's hard to say because, especially with this particular match, it wasn't the match I thought was going to be the low point. And that, to me, was the most disappointing. Yeah, because it followed an amazing match. We've been waiting for Thunder Rosa.
Right, so I'm like, oh, okay, so yeah. I'm like, dude, we got back-to-back bangers in this motherfucker. I'm getting excited. And then, they pulled the WWE Gato move on us. Next thing you know, everybody and their mama's interfering. So it was just disappointing, like I said.
All right, not much to say. Well, easy for me to say. Not much to say about the AFHO. I hope I never have to say that acronym again. I don't think I ever will.
I don't think you have to anymore.
You're skipping over Moxley Danielson. Which happened next. Which, like I said, my favorite match. And it was just two amazing professional wrestlers just beating the shit out of each other. And I will say a funny thing on rewatch, if you guys have the ability to rewatch, is Danielson throws Moxley out. They get outside. Moxley gigs, and he bleeds more than MJF, which is crazy. Like, the camera pans out to the crowd for a while, and then Moxley comes up, with blood. Danielson comes up with, like, hardly anything. He's just got, like, a little bit of blood. And then, you see Bryce Remsburg go down and talk to Danielson, and, like, Danielson's basically just like, did I not get enough blood? And Bryce is just like, no, man, you don't have any. Until, like, Bryce reaches into his pocket and hands him a blade, and, like, Danielson's on his hands and knees, and you just see his hair hanging down, and you just see him just dig the shit out of himself a second time, like, in the ring, and hand the blade.
Looked like the Luke Wilson Elliott Smith scene from Royal Tenenbaums.
Good movie, by the way, though.
Great reference.
Kneel
Great
in the
reference.
hay.
Dude, they just killed each other, and it was an absolute mean guy match. And they just strikes and wrestling, and this is like my quintessential wrestling match, man. I loved it. I can't say enough good things about it.
I want to say that my prediction was that Bryan was going to bleed the shit out of everything, and Moxley was going to have some sort of begrudging respect for him. I ended up not being correct exactly, but I think the idea was there. The idea that, well, especially when Regal came out, I was trying to think of an equivalent of what would happen during the Attitude Era. Who would have been the old guy to come down and talk to the younger guys, or who would have been the kayfabe style guy coming down and smacking the shit out of two veterans? Like, I mean, Moxley and Bryan at this point, they're not Triple H and The Rock, but they're kind of close to that, right? I mean,
it'd be Terry Funk, because if you think about the Mankind Undertaker, Terry Funk's the guy that came down to try to soften the situation, and Undertaker like chokeslammed him out of his shoes.
Oh, in the Hell in a Cell or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, it was an incredible moment.
No, it was the one time
biggest pop of the night, too.
Yeah, and I love when I don't see it coming. Swerve.
Man, who could have seen that coming?
Swerve coming out and, signing with AEW. You kind of knew that was going to be announced at some point. Okay, great. It's Swerve's house now. We'll see what happens.
They lulled you into sleep.
They totally
just long enough to forget about Regal.
And the next thing you know, it's like, bam!
Yeah, right.
It's like, what the fuck?
Oh,
shit.
Good.
And, everybody's like slapping each other and shit in the room. Like, oh, shit, it's Regal. So he gets in the ring, and next thing you know, he's slapping Moxley. I'm like, what the fuck did you do?
And nobody's smacking him back. No, nobody's smacking him back,
okay, smack Bryan Danielson. I'm like, damn, what'd you do?
Incredible moment.
No, it was perfect.
Oh, it was so good. Because Danielson's over there clapping like,
right?
Like,
that's what you
Moxley's getting scolded. It's like a sibling, right? Like, you're in trouble. And then Dad turns around and just smacks you too. And
then say, what you laughing about?
Shock. The look of shock whenever he gets slapped. He just didn't expect it.
I know we're going to get to this later. I can't wait to get to the Regal promo on Dynamite.
Yes.
But before we get there, what was next?
It was the 6-man. What should have been a popcorn match turned into a crazy spot fest that really got the crowd going again.
Just a crazy spot fest, man. It really was.
That's all you can say, man. It was just like, dude, what are you guys doing?
Steve Borden jumping through tables and shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Dude, you're my dad's age.
Paige and Cole in the back like, you motherfuckers. Y'all just couldn't take it easy.
Seriously.
There's a fan video from the balcony where there was a fan taking a video of Sting like fighting one of those guys up in the balcony before he jumped, and then you see like the jump from that side, and he didn't just like jump down, like he had to jump pretty far out and down. Like, it was insane.
I mean, Jason was joking, but that's kind of an interesting point, because you remember a friend of the show, Kurt Stallion, told that story about how he was wrestling Myron Reed at an ROH show, and they did a big spot off of the turnbuckle onto the floor in the curtain jerker, and he didn't tell us on air who yelled at him, so I won't.
We'll keep it to ourselves.
I won't betray his confidence, but he told us off air who it was, and it's definitely somebody that you've heard about, or definitely somebody that you guys know who got in their faces after their match and said, you never do that stuff in the curtain jerker. You're supposed to save stuff for the guys later. So I wonder if Cole and Paige were watching that backstage,
kicking shit,
and we're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You're supposed to bring this shit down a little bit, please. Can we bring it down a little bit?
Motherfuckers are trying to use the bathroom.
They might have been like mad at Sammy, or not mad at Sammy, but like chagrined at Sammy, but with and Isaiah Cassidy, because they're young guys, but those guys being closer to our age, they probably marked out just as hard as Sting going through three tables.
That's Spanish Fly. That's Spanish Fly.
No.
is so dangerous. That is so dangerous.
It had been.
There's basically not only is there no room for air,
zero.
There's nobody there to catch you.
Nobody. You have to hit it. You have to hit it.
Even if you hit it,
it's going to hurt.
Yeah, you're
very hard.
It
was like on the steel
and the floor.
Yeah, it's just a table on the floor. And from the stage.
That's got to be 20 feet.
I mean, let's be conservative.
I'd say 15.
Fuck. I mean, even if it's 12, it's too much. It's too much.
Okay, just the centrifugal force of that alone, as you're going down,
look at this guy he's talking about centrifugal.
No, I was getting ready to say it's the same thing. It's the Taker throwing Mick Foley off, and he was talking about it.
What that chick say to you on the landing one time?
I didn't know that black people knew the word facetious. Motherfucker. I'm like, man. Everybody else around me is like, what you say? I'm like, all right, everybody be cool.
Which
is
Sherry. Really funny if she was being facetious, so that's very bad.
Nah, this chick Sherry that used to come into the bar all the time, I thought she was so old. She was probably like 35.
Right.
And she had fake tits. She was fired up. Apparently she went to bat for you. Like,
she
wanted
to kill this chick. And I was just like, no, we can't blow up our second favorite spot next to Jack Patrick's. Let's leave it alone. But
centrifugal, though. I didn't know black guys knew the word centrifugal.
Good thing I ain't black. So it's the same thing as like the Mick Foley throw off the top of the cage. As Mick Foley is coming down, not only does he have to turn in the air, but he's picking up speed as it's happening. They are so lucky that they nailed it, and it was pretty flush. It didn't look like it was, anybody hit their head or their legs. It was pretty much
like you said. The 6:30 on Wednesday night was also really dangerous, and somebody needs to talk to Sammy.
Yeah, I know. Okay, motherfucker, we get it. You crazy,
right? Somebody really needs to talk to him.
Yeah, seriously, he's gonna hurt somebody or hurt himself.
Hurt himself, more likely. And then the main event, which. It wasn't an afterthought. It's not an afterthought, but it was at the end. That's the thing. Like, okay, you can have a 4-hour show, but you gotta throw some
donkeys out there somewhere.
You gotta throw some donkeys out there because if you're expecting to have a 25-minute match, which they did, and they had a great match, they had a fucking great match.
It was really good,
but
it just suffered.
It was at the end of a really long night.
It wasn't even a long night. For me, it wasn't even a long night, okay? It was just after so much had happened.
That shit ended at close to midnight.
It was 11 o'clock. Gosh, you wasn't even awake. Don't even start.
I was asleep for a long time.
So let's talk about for the people that were awake at this point. It finished short 11 o'clock. Okay, so I'm sorry if you can't be entertained for 4 hours with some really good wrestling. That's shame on you. Okay, number one.
No,
number two. No, that's shame on you. I'm sorry.
Well, then they should have cut 5 minutes off a couple matches.
I'm only good for like 7 to 12 minutes usually, so 4 hours is like a really long time. But no, you guys are right. But at the same time, this match was really good, and Adam Page coming out like the ultimate millennial cowboy with rainbow tassels in the state of Florida, where it's illegal to say gay. Man, he just reaffirmed the fact that he is my champion. This guy.
I also want to say that the crowd was a little too tickled with themselves for chanting "Let's go, Adam." It was just, they thought it was really funny and they kept doing it. It's like, okay, it was funny for like 3 or 4 chants, but then to keep doing it, like they did it for a really fucking long time, and it was not funny. Guys, that's not funny.
They did get him back, though. The crowd, they did get the crowd. The crowd was into themselves for a little bit. But they got him over, with the match and with the storytelling. It was a great main event.
Yeah, and the sunset flip, fucking ruled.
Page or Cole like hitting the buckshot, but he didn't pull his knee pad down, and Excalibur doing the storytelling job that he did of saying like, oh, he didn't pull the knee pad down. and then Page pulled the knee pad down later on whenever he had his buckshot. Just really fantastic. And here's the thing, Cole is running through, like, this is what you need out of a babyface champion. If people want to act like Cole's
Page
reign is lackluster. Sorry, I keep saying it. Yeah, I keep doing the thing. Yeah, people want to act like Page's reign is lackluster. Like, he is rolling through really high quality guys, and he is giving everything to this. And, next he's getting CM Punk. And, that is just going to heighten the belt even more whenever he beats CM Punk. Like, because I don't expect, that's another conversation we can have. But basically, I do not think that Page's reign is lackluster. I think he is an amazing champion.
Yeah,
I think he's doing a fantastic job.
I think I hear a lot of people saying that Page is not over and that Page's reign is not very good, and I just could not disagree more. I couldn't disagree more with people saying it. He's having a great babyface title reign with great matches. Even the one against Dante Martin last night was
short but sweet,
but it was really good because he's fucking really good. Jason.
Let it. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, too.
I was just going to say letter grade. I was going to pull Bill and say letter grade. But, yeah, if you have anything more to say about the main event.
I was actually going to just piggyback off of the Adam Page criticism. Okay, so he has the draw versus Danielson. He beats him. He beats...
he beat Omega to win it.
Okay, we'll start there. He beats Omega to win it. He draws against Danielson, beats him in the rematch, beats Lance Archer in a Texas death match. Now he's just beaten Adam Cole, baby, in a fairly decisive, I won't say fairly decisive, but a barn burner 30-minute match. I'm not sure what else you want from this.
Well, he won clean. Yeah, he won clean.
I mean, what more can you ask from Adam Page at this point? I mean, he's gave the blood. He's gave you, a 60-minute, barn burner ass match for free. Come back
and he had never done a match longer than 30 minutes before that match, and that's one of the matches of the year.
So, I mean, at a certain point, we got to keep things in perspective. He's winning, and we're still complaining. Well, some of us are still complaining about this. You can't have it both ways. You were mad when he got the draw. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one. But the rest have been, in some form or fashion, a standout marketed performance, whatever word you want to use in the sentence. When you have to go against Bryan Danielson a second time, you're both bleeding buckets, you win that match. Lance Archer's Texas death match, man, they was doing shit to Adam Page that nobody should be getting done to. He survives that match. Now he's beating Adam Cole, baby. He's probably getting CM Punk next. Keep it in the vacuum.
Zach was trying to butt in on my job again as the quarterback. Zach was going to ask, what was the letter grade for this pay-per-view? But he's not allowed to ask that because I'm the quarterback, right? So I'll ask you guys this. What's the letter grade for this pay-per-view?
Oh, man.
I give it an A-.
I was just going to say that. A-.
I'm going to give it an A.
All right.
Fair.
Good enough. Let's get to that 2 count.
1, 2, 3.
2 beer. I know you've been edging for so long. I'm going to now give you permission to come. What's the 2 count?
2 count is AEW Dynamite simply because it was a jam-packed show. It seems like they are absolutely, Tony Khan is absolutely shuffling things up. This almost feels like a post-WrestleMania Monday Night Raw where we had big payoffs to big storylines, and now we're shuffling things. There was a lot of turns. There was a lot of stable becoming unstable. But yeah, a lot going on. A lot going on here. So we start out just like we started out with Revolution. Chris Jericho addressing Eddie Kingston. Jericho comes out looking just. I mean, this dude looks better than Fabio coming out. He's got his hair flowing.
We just need Bill just to run down motherfuckers. That seems like that's the key to get.
He's been listening. He's been taking adrenochrome.
Yeah. Dude, his abs were showing. He was just looking great. And
Seriously, it's adrenochrome. It's got to be.
Something's going on. I'm like, damn, he's striking.
Something's going on.
But he talks about his demons that he's fighting and how he should have really accepted Eddie Kingston's handshake, and he wants Eddie Kingston to come out and accept his handshake, and Kingston comes out and he starts cutting his promo, and dude, Eddie Kingston is just so amazing, because I don't know what low life, low rent sons of benches in Florida bought tickets to this Dynamite near the front row, but they were doing the what chant to Eddie Kingston.
I could only think that maybe they were like 15 years old or something, and they had like their voice had changed, so they sounded like men or something. But I can only think that whoever was doing that had to be a very, very young person. It just doesn't seem like something that an adult would do at an AEW show.
Again, it's Florida, so who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
But dude, like, he's coming out here and he's just the ultimate babyface, and he's like, just talking about how he just did a fan fest, and he talked about how 4 separate people came up to him and told them that they didn't kill themselves because of the amazing article that he wrote in the Players Tribune, which, I pushed on this podcast. It was phenomenal. Eddie Kingston is, like, I'd say between him and John Moxley, who are boys, like, they're like single-handedly redefining what it means to be a fucking man. If we want to, like, gender things and we want to talk about that, like, they are redefining what it means to be a man. And, shout out to Adam Page too for really kind of, just kind of pushing the boundaries of what manlyhood is and what it is for being, of that kind of concept. I love that. They're deconstructing binaries, and that's super cool to me. But he's just borderline in tears, just talking about how the effect that he's had, and they go to shake hands, and of course 2.0 comes out, and then we get the real kind of meat and potatoes here. It's less about Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho, and just like Eddie Kingston said, it is the Chris Jericho show. Goddamn, Eddie Kingston was right when he said that Proud and Powerful Santana Ortiz were just pawns, and it was all about getting Jericho over, because these guys come out and we get the big turn with Santana Ortiz coming out to defend Jericho, and then we just get like a complete schmoz, and now we have a new faction, the Jericho Appreciation Society, and I'll be goddamned if Jake Hager. I mean, that's a big, strong dude. I mean, I know Eddie Kingston's got some pounds on him, but son of a bitch, man. Like, you don't really do that much. Just lift that guy up. Like, you got one job here on the show.
No
just
shit.
Get that guy up. He doesn't barely lift him up, and then he drops him right on his head through a table. I'm like, God damn, dude.
Man, it looked bad.
Yeah, that was where I was like, okay, this is over. We can just wrap this shit up right now.
It looked bad.
Now, we officially have the inner circle is broken. I honestly expected him to say this is the Inner Circle 2.0.
That's what I told you.
I tweeted it. I tweeted
Oh,
it.
you did?
Yeah, I said Inner Circle 2.0 while it was happening, and they said Jericho Appreciation Society, and I was like, okay, that's fine.
I guess, motherfucker.
Jericho Protection Service.
But we got what we've been waiting for, and this moves the needle. It moves the bar. Like, I mean, it moves Kingston away from Moxley because he's doing his stuff with Danielson, and it moves him towards Santana Ortiz, who he seems to be boys with, and they will fit very well. It moves Jericho into heel status, where he's arguably better at being. And
Arguably,
I think.
I mean, he's just better. You want to know what my wife said while she was sitting on the recliner, breastfeeding our child, and I was watching live the Jericho turn? She goes, I guess that Chris Jericho just keeps reinventing himself, huh? I was like, yeah.
There's a hot take.
I was like, let's go back to the bedroom, dear. Have I shown you the bedroom? Let's take a.
That's pretty profound.
What do you say? Move, Edna. You in the way.
Bedtime, baby.
Right? I say, wham my ass. That's funny.
Pretty good heel turn as far as heel turns go, and like you might be expecting a Jericho heel turn at that time, but at the same time, it was effective. It still worked.
No, it did. It just, you know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say.
You just hope that Santana or Ortiz get something out of it.
No, I'm actually done with that. You know, I'm mad that they use Santana Ortiz as the pawn in this scenario where they're making the save, which I get, but I'm thinking, okay, we're saving Eddie, and they're going to turn on Jericho in some form or fashion, or not even help him out. Eddie is really their boy in this scenario, in kayfabe style. Okay, so in this scenario, I'm thinking you get 2.0 out the set, and then, you know, Eddie walks off with Santana Ortiz. You know, you keep them, you know, the little relevancy they have at this point, and then you move along. But now they give Jericho the bat. I'm thinking, why would you give somebody a bat that you don't necessarily know you trust? And the next thing you know, whack, whack. I'm like, motherfucker. And, of course, Santana Ortiz take the fall. I'm well documented. I've been very disappointed in their booking. I'm now completely lost any kind of faith that they are going to do anything in AEW, especially with another team coming back in. All that does is just push the team back, and that's the biggest problem with AEW, at least on the men's side. You can add on. I get why you do it, but when you add one on, somebody gets pushed back.
Stop it, though.
It's the
like,
truth.
That's the biggest.
It's
like,
the truth.
That is so... That is so short-sighted of you.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
That keeps LAX, I won't call them Proud and Powerful, that keeps LAX on TV all the time with Eddie Kingston.
Very relevant.
Maybe I don't want to say Eddie Kingston's the most over babyface in AEW, but he might be. He's in the top 3. He's in the top 3 most over babyfaces.
Okay. Adam Page, John Moxley, and Eddie Kingston. Those are the 3.
And I think that John Moxley is... I think that John Moxley, Regal, and Bryan need to go heel. Like,
okay,
oh,
okay. More so to my point. More so to my point.
But you can have LAX be baby faces against them, and
what? And beat 2.0. Okay, now what?
Here's the thing: there's only so many championships, and they're very deserving, right? They're great, but you can say the same thing about FTR. You can say the same thing about a lot of people, You can't hotshot the titles all the time just to get people a little bit of shine.
That's all I'm really asking.
This is one of the big takeaways from Revolution for me that I didn't mention. But for Cole and Page to be, like I said, they weren't an afterthought, but everybody was exhausted by the end of it. That really says a lot about how AEW builds up non-main event storylines. Because there was every single match on that card.
The 2 best matches I thought had no title involved.
Exactly. You were very invested in.
Very.
And they can tell stories like that. And that's a credit to Tony Khan. That's a credit to his writers. That's a credit to the talent on AEW. So if you have LAX, this is completely hypothetical. If you have LAX versus Daniel Bryan and John Moxley, I'm here for it because I know that I trust AEW after 2.5 years, 3 years into it. I trust them that they're going to be able to tell me that story. Do you honestly think that the next AEW pay-per-view is going to shit the bed? Because they've proven us that no, it's never going to shit the bed.
Okay, you're taking this subject and making it macro. Keep it micro. I am talking about Santana and Ortiz and how they have been disappointing since their arrival. Okay? I didn't say that AEW's Double or Nothing is going to shit the bed.
Listen, I'm not trying to like talk over your head or anything, but when you're married, you find out that everything micro is macro.
Okay, well,
sorry.
Oh,
You didn't bring me my orange juice? Well, this is what you're always like.
Well, sorry, I've been out of a relationship for a little bit.
My wife's the only one that does that? Can't be.
Okay.
Also, going a little bit further ahead, which we don't have to talk about because it was at the end.
I didn't say these things on tape, man.
She's never going to hear it.
May's gonna listen to all these one day when she's 18.
No.
Shit, my mom was
What's
crazy.
up,
They all are. You are too.
Jason was saying the same thing about Scorpio Sky 6 months ago, and
It's been a year. They went.
All right,
We'll wait.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, we'll wait.
A year of him winning matches, right?
Matches that you saw, right?
All right, let's
definitely
keep
not.
Okay.
Let's keep it moving. Up next.
Up next, we had the title match between Adam Page and Dante Martin. Super quick, super fun. The match was fun. It was exactly what you expected it to be. Dante Martin got some shine, but the coolest part about it was Adam Page calling him back to the ring and telling Dante Martin's story and saying, "Hey kid, you got dealt a tough hand. He's super young. Your brother got hurt and you got thrown into the spotlight and you shone. And you know what? Like, you shone bright, and tonight wasn't your night, but another night coming down the way, it definitely could be." And I thought that was a great story, especially because Dante Martin's been doing this for just a couple years, so the fact that he can get out there and shine so bright against the champion, I thought it was just ultimate babyface shit. Really spoke well for both of them.
Put him over.
Yeah,
Huge.
totally. And you can't take away from what Dante Martin has brought to the table. You've gotten him in a conversation where now, fans are excited to see his singles push. Now, whether he goes back into Top Flight and they do the tag team thing or not, that's another story for another time. But for this scenario, Adam Page did everything he possibly could to put him over, and I thought it was very well executed. Match, like I said, short but sweet, but then you had one Adam Cole baby make his appearance, and I'll let you take it from there, too, Beer.
Unless Bill has anything to say about that, we can move on to...
Nope.
So John Moxley, Bryan Danielson versus JD Drake and Anthony Henry. Again, short and sweet. Of course, Bryan Danielson and John Moxley are going over, but I have not seen Anthony Henry. Maybe he's been on Dark and stuff, but he looked good. I've seen JD Drake. I've seen him in singles matches and independent stuff, and I know he's good, but Anthony Henry looked good in this short match.
Well, those four guys, if they wanted to, could have had a 20-minute barn burner.
I was hoping it was going to be like 10 or 15, but
right.
I get why they did it.
Wasn't the time.
No. I get it. I'm just disappointed.
We needed all that time for William Regal's promo, which I got to say, so William Regal's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and it's because, I started watching wrestling in my single-digit years, and he was a absolute mainstay of WCW Saturday Night with Tony Schiavone, as they referenced, and, he held the TV title. He wrestled tag team with Jean-Paul Levesque, who eventually went on to be Triple H and then Paul Levesque. And, even when I was a kid, I didn't necessarily recognize how great he was, but I knew I hated him. And I loved the matches that he put on. Like, he was TV champion. He would do these 15-minute draws all the time with the likes of Arn Anderson and, on this WCW Saturday Night. And it was just phenomenal. It's one of my favorite memories of wrestling is watching Lord Steven Regal and then the Blue Buds with Bobby Eaton, Jean-Paul Levesque, and then Bobby Eaton. But he came out and this dude almost had me crying. He did this heartfelt promo with Tony Schiavone where, he talks about he's not long for this world because he left so many empty bottles in his wake and a couple of broken hearts, sweetheart. So amazing. And, he goes in and then talks about how Tony Schiavone was one of the first guys to bring him in. And in his book, he talks about how Tony Schiavone really, kind of taught him how to do promos whenever he first started. And it was just a really heartfelt moment. And then he just goes, enough of being nice, and just turns the switch. So like Bill said, I totally expect these guys to be heels, but what an absolute dream. And he did say, after I got fired from my last job, I stopped watching wrestling, which obviously this guy loves wrestling, maybe as much as he loves reptiles. I don't know. That still remains to be seen. But he loves wrestling. And whenever, we've seen this with CM Punk. Whenever an employer can take the thing that you love away from you to the point where you never think that you're going to do it again. I know it's a short time period for William Regal, but he's older. Like, he didn't necessarily have a ton of options. He wasn't necessarily thinking, oh, I'll just go to AEW. But they brought him in, and oh my God, just imagine having William Regal and firing him. That's the dumbest fucking thing you could ever do. And what an absolute amazing get. This is like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about how great this can be.
You left out
perfect.
You left out my favorite part of the promo was when he was talking about Bryan Danielson, and he goes, "This is the wrestler that I should have been." He goes, "This right here is the perfect professional wrestler," and I had to rewind it and watch it 4 times because I was like, man, that's
a tall statement.
That is a really tall statement. It's also, kind of what I say. It's also what I say about Bryan Danielson. So maybe you don't have to take all the bumps. Maybe you can just all that. But that is a really tall statement.
Hell yeah.
And
hell yeah. I'm like, word? Okay.
I mean, I enjoyed the fuck out of it. And then when he turned it on to be like, whoever's goes against these guys, you're not going to like the outcome. I was like, oh, these guys are going to be fucking heels, man. Jason, what you think?
They're going to tear through the tag team division.
They're going to tear through the tag team division. It's over.
It's almost.
You think they'll be champs?
I was just getting ready to say, I think that's kind of the reason why Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are getting their wins in now to build them up to have Moxley and Danielson possibly beat them. I'm not convinced yet because I think there's another tag team that's going to come in, and we'll talk about that in a second. But if I had to say right now, my guess is yes.
Okay, what was the next segment?
All right, yeah. We had Pac and Wheeler Yuta, and I got to say, I love that this was something, in storyline, a standby match, because they expected the world title match to go long, right? So we got a little bit of kayfabe in there. Super cool. They're like, we had this match on standby because we thought the title match would go long.
And, shit.
Yeah. They had a really good match. I mean, Wheeler Yuta's got everything he needs to be a great wrestler. Maybe he just needs, like, a character, some charisma. Pac is the most complete kind of pro wrestler as far as technicality. I listened to a 2-hour Bryan Danielson interview with Meltzer the other day, and he pretty much said, he's like, my son or daughter, if they were getting into pro wrestling, I would tell them to do everything that I would tell them to do everything like Pac. Not even himself. He would say, I want you to do everything like Pac because he's the most crisp, clean, technical wrestler on the planet. So big props for Pac. And I mean, they had a solid match, and it was what it was. But yeah, I just like that kayfabe aspect.
No, I'm not going to disagree with that. It was weird because I was just like, oh man, this is kind of filler, but I get the why. You know what I'm saying? It's in kayfabe, just in case the title match.
Danhausen on TV.
Well, that too. I mean, it's a multiple different reasons. The biggest thing that I was waiting for that didn't happen was the House of Black. Usually, if I'm seeing Pac, I'm seeing Penta. To me, I'm thinking the House of Black should be lurking over their shoulders at some point, and that didn't happen. That was the only surprise about this whole segment. Outside of that, it was what it was. It was a decent match. The right guy went over. Wheeler Yuta looked good in this short but sweet match. That's that.
Cool. And then we had the AHFO, and I'm with Bill, where I'm glad I don't have to ever say that again. But just, basically Matt Hardy getting booted out, starts getting beat up, and then we all expected it because we knew that Jeff Hardy's shit was up. But then Darby Allin and Sting thing came up, and I'm like, well, maybe this ain't going to happen.
Yeah, which was fine. I was like, you knew he was coming. It was just a matter of when. Sting and Darby coming out kind of makes sense. They got beef against Andrade. Okay, fair enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then they come out, they start getting beat up, which I was like, that's a little disingenuous because, I remember Sting, and maybe it's because he was younger, but he's take out the whole NWO all by himself. Get beat up by these guys.
He's 62, dude. Come on.
Yeah. But then, the music hits. I actually texted you guys. I said, I was like, there's going to be a lot of cum and a lot of pants whenever this music hits.
I'm looking at my phone like, what the fuck? Never mind. I got to go take this table. Shit.
And that music hit, and Jeff Hardy comes out, and he looks happier than I've ever seen him in his goddamn life.
Okay, pig and slop.
Yeah. So everybody's making fun of the fact that he was dancing before.
Oh, you got to. You got to.
You got to do it.
No, not even. No, you got to make fun of him when your brother is getting his ass handed to him by like 5 guys, and his music hits, and of course I'm like, oh, my knee-jerk reaction is, okay, how did they get the music, number one? And number two, it's perfect because that pop from the crowd, you knew who it was. And that, I think, the recognition of it, you can make the connection of it, that was so important. I think if you'd have had some generic music like Christian, when Christian came out, and if you'd have had like his old music, if you close your eyes and okay, if you'd have had that, motherfuckers would have lost their mind. They just didn't know who Christian was, so you kind of got that weak little, okay, what? And then you saw him and it was like, okay, all right, it's Christian. As soon as that music hit, it was like going back to WrestleMania 33 when they surprised everybody and came out. That music
mark out moment of the year,
dude, and motherfuckers lost their shit. Okay, same scenario there. When Jeff came down, he did, his Dan. I'm like, man, your brother's getting his ass kicked in there. You can do that after the fact, okay? Let's do that after the fact. So, of course, Jeff comes in, saves the day, swanton. We hug it out, the whole shebang. I didn't have a problem with this. It wasn't necessarily a surprise by any stretch of the imagination, obviously, but I think the way they executed it, I thought was really good. The fact that they brought Darby and Sting down, and now you have Darby and Sting looking over at the Hardy Boys. Maybe that's their first match. The Hardy Boys coming in, like I said, no knock, but I think that's going to hurt Santana Ortiz. The segment beforehand where you had FTR fire Tully Blanchard, okay, I get that. Family comes first, but I'm thinking Tully comes back with a tag team known as the Briscoes. That's how you get the FTR Briscoes feud going. With the Briscoes coming in, another team goes back.
I never thought about the Briscoes. I was wondering I was like, is this just it for Tully? That's what I was wondering about. But yeah, Bill, what do you think about Jeff Hardy?
I never would have thought about Jeff Hardy getting there, except for Two Beer Zach texted us during the middle of the day with I don't know, sometimes I just forget about guys. There's so many guys that come to AEW all the time, and I know that people think that it's an embarrassment of riches, and it is kind of an embarrassment of riches, but they don't really misuse anybody. And what are you looking at me like that for?
I just had a whole rant about how they just misuse Santana Ortiz, but go ahead.
Well, I'm talking about, I guess I'm talking about people that come to the company. I think that Santana Ortiz have been there. I don't think this. Santana Ortiz have been there since the beginning.
Lance Archer?
I think Lance Archer's been used.
Dude was just on a
kind of perfectly. I would like to see a little bit more Miro because I'm a Miro mark.
Okay, that was the next one coming out of my mouth, but that's cool.
He just signed a 4-year extension, so obviously he's happy.
Plus, we also just had a conversation about how there were too many matches on the pay-per-view.
That's a you conversation.
I have conversations with myself all the time. I also talk about how there's too many schmozzes, but it gets a lot of people on TV, so it doesn't surprise me that people are happy to go there. They just put Daniel Bryan and Jon Moxley, two guys that should be at the top of the card fighting for the heavyweight belt. They just put him in a tag team, and they put William Regal with it, and now we're all excited for that too. Now they could fuck that up, I guess, but Adam Page a guy that had never been heard of by most American audiences. We had heard of him because we had watched a couple G1s and a couple Wrestle Kingdoms. But he's the guy that is
ROH too, but go ahead.
He's a guy that he's the heavyweight belt holder. Adam Cole, baby. It was a Ring of Honor all-star before he came to NXT, and he was the guy that fought for the belt. MJF was basically an unheard of guy. Every time somebody like Jeff Hardy comes back, or every time somebody like Jeff Hardy or William Regal gets signed, and my instinct is to go, this feels like 1999 WCW, I'm reminded of all these other things. And I say, no, it's not the same thing. And plus, it's booked better. It just is.
Okay, that's where I was kind of getting ready to say that. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because really they haven't done anybody too bad except for Santana Ortiz. I'm going to die on that hill. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't even necessarily disagree with you on that. I will say that Jay Lethal might be underused.
He's just getting there, but where are we going to use him? Where does he go? I mean, for me,
Tony's acting like ROH is going to be separate, so I kind of feel like
but then
there.
I'm also hearing that Tony Khan wants to make that developmental. Like it's the ROH would be the equivalent of NXT for WWE. Okay, I get that, but I think that's what Dark Elevation is. ROH needs to be what ROH was to begin with. You know, its own separate entity. You got Jonathan Gresham as ROH champion. You got tag team champions. You got these other belts running around. Deonna Purrazzo is the ROH women's champion. I mean, you got a basically champion set ready to go. I think this would be that's where you would have like a Jay Lethal go back to ROH. If you wanted CM Punk to go back to ROH, you can start doing a separate brand right there with talent already on the AEW roster. And then if you wanted to bring in more guys, more women, by that point, I'm all for it because now you have room to play with.
All right, what was next?
Let's see. Sorry, I got to do my Face ID because my phone locked. Oh, now I got to type it in because it doesn't recognize my face.
Jesus Christ.
So here we go.
Swerve and Tony Nese.
Wardlow speaks.
Oh, okay.
Wardlow speaks. Oh, yeah, Swerve and Tony Nese. That was a little thing. So,
By the way,
that's another.
We don't have to spend too much time on this. I don't remember when Swerve was released. Did we talk about it on this podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was the whole hit row.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say.
They signed them to SmackDown, and then they released them like 2 days later. Or
Yeah.
the very next day.
They released every single one of them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was I here for that episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He
It's
said,
just
"Was I
so many.
here?"
There were so many releases that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in a big round of releases or whatever. I think one of the last rounds they had.
We don't have to
Swerve-
talk too much about Swerve.
But Swerve Scott's gotten over everywhere that I've ever seen him. The first time I ever seen him was in AEW or in MLW, and he was the champ.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great babyface. And then I've seen him a little bit in Defy. I'm actually looking forward. I want to go up to Seattle and see some Defy shows. But yeah, like I think he'll be great. And he's another guy, and but they're doing a good job of juggling him. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, after that, Wardlow speaks, and he definitely spoke. I mean, he's pretty good on the mic. He had a lot to say. I saw Blood Girl Raven on Twitter saying that would maybe have been better off as a backstage interview with like JR, and I don't disagree with that. I do think it was cool that they gave him the opportunity to speak on a live mic on TV, but the nature of what he had to say was a little bit personal, and it might have come off a little bit better instead of a monologue, more of like a Q&A kind of thing. But yeah, it was interesting because, jumping ahead a little bit, I fully expected Wardlow to be taking this title off of Sammy Guevara, and now I'm thinking that MJF just really screws him hard.
Bill, you're shaking your head. You didn't think
I saw that Blood Girl Raven tweet too. Shout out to Blood Girl Raven, #1 fan, queen of the show. I totally disagree. I mean, this was a tremendous babyface promo. I was thinking we'd never seen him really talk this way, and while he may have looked a little unsure of himself, if anything, that only sells him more as a babyface. He was talking about his mother. I saw somebody, I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but somebody said Wardlow is a guy that loves his mom and likes to powerbomb dudes 10 times in a row. He's the perfect wrestling character. And
That's pretty good.
I agree with that like 1,000%. I thought that he was I thought this was tremendous. I can't say enough about how, like, the rise of Wardlow in the last year has been so subtle and so well, just a story so well told that it's almost unheard of in the last 20 years of wrestling, if you ask me. Like, this is a guy that really, like, they didn't shove him into anything too hard. They just kind of let him, he was just there for a while, and they let you get used to him, and then he started powerbombing dudes, and and then they started talking about the Powerbomb Symphony, and then he kind of started having a problem with his leader, for lack of a better term. He was the heater for MJF, and then he got sick enough about it, and MJF was the perfect guy to play off of it, and now he is a massive babyface that I could see winning the AEW championship, heavyweight championship, sometime within the next 2 years, and I don't think that's too far off. I think if MJF wins a championship in the next 6 or 8 months, I could see Wardlow taking it off of him in the next year or so. That might be insane, but
that's a hot take.
Well, there's lots of different ways they can go with it, but
he would definitely be an amazing contender.
Yeah,
and
I
someone
think
that you actually think might
be able to do it. That's what I was going to say. I could see if MJF won the title, that Wardlow would be one of the first 2 or 3 contenders to challenge for it.
And he's just not over with us. He's over with the crowd.
No, I mean,
he gets big pop.
Big pop. And now they're going, Wardlow. Like, people are into it.
Yeah, it's
he's getting the Goldberg chant, man.
Great looking dude, huge, young,
very handsome.
Very just unbelievable. Yeah.
that's a crop. That's your
Anime the only one that's drooling around here.
It's one of the things that you watch. It's one of those things that's like a byproduct of watching wrestling from week to week that you don't see very often. Is just them telling this story so well with this one guy, and now he's a made man.
This is AEW's version of, at least the comparison I could think of, is Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Diesel wasn't necessarily, a thing until Shawn decided to go, keep throwing them against the wolves and all this other shit. And then Diesel said, enough's enough. And then they made Diesel into the star that he was and is now. To me, this is exactly the same thing. It's just, this is just a little more subtle. Okay. It was, Wardlow was the heater. And then, like Bill said, slowly but surely he's morphed into, one of the bigger baby faces that AEW has. I thought he absolutely nailed this promo. It couldn't have went any better.
You and I agree?
I think we all agree.
Yeah, totally.
All right, cool.
I did hear something really funny on Meltzer's podcast. Brian Alvarez said that somebody emailed him a booking idea, which is hilarious, but it probably won't happen, but it's still very funny. Since MJF has Wardlow under contract next week, MJF comes out and says, "Yeah, I will release you from your contract, but you got a 90-day non-compete."
Yeah, right. That would be actually that would be a perfect way to be like, yeah, you can sit your ass down and then we shoot one across the WWE bow. Okay, so let's just play devil's advocate for 30 seconds. So obviously Wardlow is getting Scorpio Sky next. You think MJF comes out?
I feel like MJF has to cost him this opportunity, considering it's only fair because Wardlow cost him the match. MJF is definitely an eye for an eye type of guy, and he is not going to be, unshown by, his quote-unquote employee, someone he thinks lesser than him. So he's going to do something bad, and it's going to draw a lot of heat. And I think he's maybe going to have Wardlow go through the ringer, just like he had Jericho go through the ringer. Like, yeah, I'll let you out of your contract if you beat Shawn Spears, if you do this, like whatever. So
beat FTR in a handicap match or some shit like that. I can totally, and that's what I don't want to see. I didn't want to see the Pinnacle as, but once you said that, I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, because at some point you're just not going to get the Wardlow MJF match right away, and I don't really want it to happen right away. I agree with you in some form or fashion. Wardlow loses to Scorpio Sky. We'll talk about that match here in a second, but if it's not MJF directly, it's Shawn Spears indirectly, because obviously Shawn Spears has been the accountability buddy to Wardlow for this whole time, and you've seen the little cracks as time has progressed, basically to the point of the week before, that Wednesday before the Revolution pay-per-view, it was basically like, you need to get the fuck out my face, Shawn Spears, or you got to get this work. So at that point, I think obviously Shawn Spears is probably going to be the first guy on deck to deal with it. And then from there, I just don't want to see FTR have to be in a handicap match. Singles matches, I guess, would be okay. Dax and Cash can do singles matches. Dax actually really can work singles. Cash is fine on a spot per basis, but I just don't want to see Wardlow run through the Pinnacle. The Pinnacle need to be strong. I would like them to be strong, but you have the Jericho Appreciation Society, and then obviously the Elite, Bucks, whatever you want to call them, that faction too. So I guess those are your top two heel factions. So you don't necessarily need the Pinnacle to be that faction. You just need MJF to stay strong.
Yeah, I feel like mostly the Pinnacle seems like it's done.
Yeah.
You did mention that we didn't talk about Cole coming out after the Paige Dante Martin
we did not.
thing, which essentially, we have, them setting up a match, 6-way, where Adam Cole, is going to pick two guys who are definitely not Adam Page's friends, who are definitely two of the top, tag team wrestlers, in history. Just basically saying all these generic things that sound like both Red Dragon and the Young Bucks.
Right.
And, so we have that implosion, and then Adam Cole picks Red Dragon and not the Young Bucks. So I think we also might have, another shakeup. We might have a reunion of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, especially after, they essentially gave him the okay to take that title off of Kenny. That's something that hasn't been a story that hasn't been told to fruition yet.
And they basically told Adam Cole, baby, that they wouldn't fight Adam Page in any form or fashion, and that's when he was like, I was going to pick Red Dragon anyway, fuck you guys, basically stormed off and shit. So yeah, if that's ultimately going to be the payoff, because the other thing we didn't talk about, at least Revolution wise, was Don Callis came out and cut a heel promo. And everybody in the room is like, is Kenny coming back? Is Kenny coming back tonight? I'm like, no, Kenny's not coming back tonight. Everybody just chill out. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, it planted that seed of, is Kenny coming back? If you hadn't bought this pay-per-view, this is the last chance to do it, because, Kenny's coming back. But ultimately, long-term storyline, I think this is, like you're talking about, the implosion of the Bullet Club, the Elite, whatever you want to call them, and you could kind of see who's going to be on what side. Kenny, Page, Bucks on one side, Cole, Red Dragon on the other, and then you can kind of play it off from there. But ultimately, I think that the whole thing with Cole picking Red Dragon, and then on the flip side, you had Adam Page not picking the Dark Order, who had been basically, protecting him up until a certain point off of Red Dragon and the Bucks. Adam Page picks Jurassic Express because they wanted a piece of Red Dragon after Red Dragon, did them dirty. And you can kind of see, the Dark Order being disappointed. That's its own little storyline. So, I mean, there's multiple ways this thing can play itself out, and I think they're doing a really good job of just keeping like the Dark Order just hanging there, just in case. What are they going to do if something goes south? Are they going to come in and help, or are they just going to sit back and just let things play itself out? What's happening with the Bucks? Now the Bucks are out of it. If something starts going left to Adam Cole and Red Dragon, are they going to sit back and watch? So, I mean, in that scenario, you do have. It looks like Adam Cole and Page are going to run it back at some point. Maybe not right away. Like I said, I agree with you. I think Punk is the next guy up for Adam Page at Double or Nothing. But in the meantime, I think this is the storyline they're going to work with, where in some form or fashion, Adam Cole is going to be fucking with Hangman Page every single step of the way until they run it back. Probably whatever after Double or Nothing, All Out. Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big story of this Dynamite, was like every faction almost seems like it's imploding, and we have new factions like starting. Like everybody is in turmoil, and it all makes storyline sense. Like it's all because of the ramifications of previous actions. It's not like, oh, we're just going to shake things up and you're going to be mad for no reason, right? They're just really throwing shit out there. So,
no, if anything, they are connecting the dots. Go ahead. What's next?
Sorry, put myself on mute. So next we had Thunder Rosa versus Layla Hirsch, and this is a much better match than the Layla Hirsch-Chris Statlander match. I thought, Layla Hirsch had a better showing here. I was a little hard on Layla Hirsch, on our friends at BFR. I was like, never seen a good Layla Hirsch match. This was pretty decent. So
wow, Jesus Christ! You guys started, man. Go back and watch some of it. I'll say she was pretty good over there.
I've seen her like do some stuff, but yeah, and this was very telegraphed in the sense that we expected Thunder Rosa to win because this was the contender match for a title match in her hometown. And then Tony Schiavone comes out, I believe it was him, and said, this will actually be a cage match because we don't want the same shit to happen that happened at Revolution. So at least it fed into that storyline. So that was cool. So I did appreciate that, and looking forward to non-interference. Maybe looking forward to a babyface pop in their hometown, very opposite WWE.
No, and that's that's the obvious thing, that the first thing that comes to my mind, like, oh shit, it's going to be in San Antonio. What if she loses? This is going to be the fucking most ridiculous thing ever. But ultimately, I just don't like the fact that we didn't have to have Britt win and to have this match. This could be the run back of this match, whatever the case may be. But the match is, Layla and Thunder Rosa was fine. It was what it was. The right person went over. I don't think we should have gotten sidetracked by having Britt Baker coming out with a new AEW women's title, which is absolutely money, by the way. And,
oh yeah, we forgot to mention that. That title is amazing.
Yeah, it's way better. It's one of the better women's titles I've seen out there. It's one of the better titles out there, period, as well, in my opinion. But
yeah, it's very much like the AEW men's title, like very Mid-South driven.
Yeah.
It looks, it's great. I mean, it's up there as one of my top belts of all time now.
It's solid.
Not even recency bias. It's just because it's so similar to the other one. I love it.
Okay, so I've been away for a little while taking care of the baby. Are you guys just now getting to Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa?
We just finished it. Now we're on to the main event.
Okay, so Sammy Guevara
damn.
versus Scorpio.
Say, I felt like we just did something wrong.
No, you guys did everything great. No, okay, so we got Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio
As he takes
Sky.
the wheel.
Listen, I'm just back there with the crying baby. I'm like, man, when I get back there, those guys are gonna be doing the birthdays, and I come back and you guys, it's like you guys are stuck in amber. It's like you guys are the fucking mosquito from Jurassic Park. You guys.
Wow.
Anyway,
how we get along without you is beyond even me.
I was wondering the same thing. No. I mean, you guys are great.
Right. So, go ahead, motherfucker.
So Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky wins the TNT belt. So I guess all the black people can stop crying.
Never, motherfucker. We ain't ever satisfied. Fuck that. It took 364 days. God damn.
I've been waiting to tell that joke since last night.
Fuck you. The match was good. I'm not necessarily. I like the fact that Sammy does the 630 through the table, unnecessarily stunt, but it plays into
I thought it was fucked up, man.
It plays into the storyline itself.
He looked at the ref and he started talking about his eye, and I was like, yeah, I guess like the table could break and get into his eye or something. That was Sammy.
Calm down.
Calm down, Sammy.
Yeah. I say we need you for the next 8 to 10 years. You need to dial that down a little bit. Ty Conte comes down. His ribs are already taped. They flash to Paige Van Zandt, and immediately I was like, okay, here we go.
By the way, can we also talk about how Ty Conte and Sammy Guevara got each other tattooed on themselves? Come on. Sammy Guevara, hey, calm down.
Yeah, you might want to ask your Billy Bob Thornton. Ask Billy Bob Thornton how that shit would end up going down. That's all I'm going to say on that.
All I have to say is every AEW contract should be signed on Tay Conti's ass.
Here you go. No, we can't do that. The match was good. I like the fact that they connected the dots from the botched 360 or 630 to going back into the ring, and then how the match ends. Not necessarily my favorite way. I'm not a huge distraction finish fan, but it worked itself out. Sammy does take the fall.
Yeah,
Scorpio.
but they're heels.
I just don't like it. Okay, it's just not my thing. It could be in any promotion. I don't care who it is. It's just not my thing. WWE has ran it into the ground, so then I see it any other place. My first thing is, shit, here we go. So that's just me. Okay. Match was good. Finish was fine. Paige Van Zandt takes down Tay Conte, so that's probably going to at least be some sort of thing. Not a huge Paige Van Zandt person. That's just me once again. I hope this is a one-off and not just something that they're going to try to do long-term. I'm worried about how Paige Van Zandt might look in the ring, but I don't think that's necessarily the reason why she's there.
Starting to see the way that this works out, where I'm in the middle and I'm an asshole. Like, I get it. Zach is the guy that likes everything, and you're the guy that hates everything.
I don't hate everything.
It sounds like you're hating everything.
No, I don't ever hate.
What do you think of the new Batman?
I haven't seen it yet.
No, you hated it.
I do. Look, first and foremost, have we not agreed upon Revolution? I gave Revolution an A-, and I agreed with you guys. Oh. So how am I going to sit there and just, I hate everything. I'm sorry.
You emphasized minus.
Oh,
when
Jesus
you said
Christ.
Zach, what do you think about Scorpio Sky?
Usually I give it a B-. You motherfuckers have an aneurysm around here. Fuck out of here with this shit.
I was surprised, but I'm happy for him. He's got a cool shirt that looks like a Cash Money Millionaire t-shirt. Looks great.
I was not surprised that Scorpio Sky won, because if Scorpio Sky lost, you could take Dan Lambert, you could take Ethan Page, you could take Scorpio Sky, and you could throw them into the fucking sun, because they would be worthless after that. Like, they had to win something at some point.
Agreed.
They had never won anything. So I was really cool with it. Scorpio Sky is a fantastic wrestler. He's a day one-ish AEW guy that they built up from the very beginning, and he's never really got that run. He's the type of dude that deserves that run. He is, an annoying heel that happened to get put with two guys that are more annoying than he is. But I'm glad that he's got a belt.
Does he beat Wardlow next week?
Yeah, I think that
he can't be a 1 week champion.
I think that he wins next week, with MJF. fucking him over. I mean, MJF fucking Wardlow over, at least. Anything else to say about AEW? We've only talked about it for 2 hours. You guys,
hey, man, that ain't on me, dog.
can we devote 20 minutes to...
Pushes glasses up higher on nose with middle finger. Actually...
Right. You're a nerd. I'll say it's only been 55 minutes, good sir.
Well, have we talked about how, no, let's get to that. 3 counts.
1, 2, 3.
So the KO mark in me wants to talk about the KO Stone Cold thing, but I really, there's something more interesting that I'd rather talk about, and that is Dolph Ziggler winning the NXT Championship, which I feel like is kind of a big deal in Marksville, where we live. I think that Dolph Ziggler, in a Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa, Dolph Ziggler triple threat match at the end of NXT on Tuesday, Robert Roode got involved
twice.
I don't mind saying this. So you did watch it.
Yes.
You act like you weren't going to watch it on Twitter. You talk a big game about how you're not going to watch shit.
I watched the last 5 minutes, so I know how I know how the match ended. Did I watch the entire NXT show? No.
Okay.
I don't even know who Dolph Ziggler is.
Well, he's this up and comer. He's this up and comer that has been at the Full Sail University for a while. That they've been waiting to unveil.
Right.
Oh yeah. Actually, now that you mention it, I do remember him losing a lot, so it makes sense that he's this up and coming.
The funny thing about Dolph Ziggler winning NXT, and I thought about this right before you came over today, Jason. I was like, because I just put it on just to have on in the background while I was getting ready, and my nephew was coming over, and I was picking up the place and everything, and I had the baby, and I had it on the background. I was like, man, if Dolph Ziggler was an NXT wrestler and he came out and they told me his name was Dolph Ziggler, I would say that's the dumbest fucking name. And I know I've said this on this podcast before. It is the dumbest fucking name ever. He's a tremendous wrestler, though.
He is.
He's great.
And this is something else I was thinking. I was thinking, man, he's won tag titles, so many tag titles between now and since he won his first belt. But it's nice to have him finally wrestle for something that matters. And that's when it struck me, is that the NXT Championship matters more to me as a viewer than the WWE tag belts do. Now, I don't know if that's true for everybody, but it did strike true to me when I thought it. So basically, I'm saying I agree with myself. But
I think it's true for Vince, and Vince doesn't even watch NXT.
I don't know what the thought process was, but he went in there and he bumped the shit for Braun Breaker. And Braun Breaker, I know he comes from a family of wrestlers, and I know he's only been wrestling for a year and a half or whatever. But he seems like kind of a savant. He's pretty good in there, and, maybe it's because it's versus Ciampa and versus Ziggler and versus
they can make him look better.
They can make him look good.
No,
but
he's
good. But I think those two can make most people look better.
But he hasn't wrestled those guys every single time, and he looks pretty good every time out there.
Obviously,
and he looks better every time I see him.
He's wrestled Ciampa multiple times. This is probably him and Dolph's first dance together or whatever the case may be.
You know how you see a Wikipedia page for a wrestler and you'll be like, he was trained by this guy or this guy. You know, Tommaso Ciampa was trained by Harley Race. Like, spent a lot of time out in Wentzville, O'Fallon area in St. Louis. Braun Breaker could probably say at this point that he was trained by Tommaso Ciampa because they've spent so much time together. They really have. I'm sure that Tommaso Ciampa is teaching him a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's a fun storyline to have Dolph Ziggler hold the NXT title.
He's a placeholder champion. He's not going to hold it for like 6 months or anything like that. I expect Braun Breaker, especially because he didn't take the pinfall and he looked like, what the fuck just happened. And it was like his first real taste of Ciampa taught him the first lesson, don't turn your back, don't, relax or anything, because anything can happen. He beats Braun Breaker, then
So
obviously...
you saw the outcome before you saw the match.
I saw the outcome before I saw the match.
Zach, I'm assuming the same for you.
Yeah, I didn't even see the match. I just saw the outcome.
Yeah, I was watching it when it happened, and I was like,
holy shit. I was like, whoa.
I was like, here we go. I kind of marked out.
It's understandable just because for me, when I saw it, I was like, what? Like, I'm thinking like Braun is like their next coming in the NXT world. Okay, I know he came up on Raw on Monday night or whatever, and him and Ciampa had the tag match. Okay, I get that. But I was like, it just felt weird because I thought he would have this run and just run through guys until ultimately he and Walter, Gunther, whatever the fuck you want to call him, they met up. And I thought that would be the water bridge moment. If he lost it, he would go up to get it. I never thought about that
because Walter Ziggler sounds fucking awesome. Let those guys fight for 40 minutes. I'm not
going to disagree with it, but I thought if you're going to do a whatever you want to call it, a takeover or an NXT whatever premium event the weekend of WrestleMania, to me their biggest match would be Braun versus Gunther. Feels like it's going to be Braun versus Dolph. That's fine too. As long as Braun gets it back, I guess ultimately that's where I'm going with it. If he doesn't get it back, then it feels like he's going up to the main roster.
If you don't care about the belt, though, what do you care if Braun gets it back?
I don't think that Dolph really needs it at this point. I mean, he's going to be Hall of Fame. All this does is just add another, check mark on his resume. That's fine. Braun Breaker should be more of the focus, and he should be more of a title holder that looks and feels like the part of a dominant champion.
Zach, any thoughts?
I just think it's funny that NXT 2.0 is all about the youngsters, the up and comers, and you got Mandy Rose and Dolph Ziggler out there as champions.
You ain't shit. What you looking at me for? He's right.
They got a collective age of like 80.
He's right. I mean, he's right.
I guess I don't look at the new. I guess I'm the only one on here that still likes NXT.
I can't. I just can't.
Is it the colors?
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's the way it's written.
Dynamite.
Is it the color?
We still got Carmelo Hayes, motherfucker.
And he's fucking great.
He is great. He's the A champion. I love everything about Carmelo.
Lash Legend had the big
whatever. Yeah, womp womp womp. Come
God
on.
Damn, can you imagine if somebody listened to this for the first time? They were like, they heard me say colors.
He ain't kicking his ass. What's wrong with that motherfucker? He Uncle Tom.
I said something else really racist too tonight. I can't remember what it was. It was terrible though.
I should be coming over the table at this point. I'm just giggling along.
I'm sorry to all the colors.
Oh my God.
This is going left.
I didn't even smoke weed yet.
I think it's going pretty far right.
He's heating up.
I'm dead. You said right. No. This is conservative as nobody's business.
That's really funny. Imperium and MSK, also a great match. I guess nobody. I'm the only one that watches NXT anymore,
No, I watched the highlights of it. I
don't even care.
I watched the Batman.
From Ringside.
Edge cut a huge promo this week that solidified.
Tickets are $5 on Tuesdays.
Edge is very much the heel.
Very much so.
Very much so. I don't know who was questioning this, but he is the heel now. I'm excited for this. I hear some people say that AJ's not a good babyface. I completely disagree. He's got a great babyface moveset. Yeah, he's smug. Yes. He hates gay people. Yes. He also hates black people. I can't He's from Georgia. What am I supposed to do? You know?
It's that Harlem Nights moment where he looks over and the two guys just shrug their shoulders like, he's like, yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to shoot in her pinky toe.
Anyway, I'm excited for that match.
No, I am too. It's the second match and I'm really jacked up for.
KO, Austin. The thing that's really disappointing about this is that they haven't said it's a match yet. I've heard people say that they're saying it's going to be a KO show during night 1, and they'll turn the match in night 2. I can't believe that that's true, because if it was going to be a match, why wouldn't you advertise it?
Just have it as a match. I mean, I think it's just going to be a segment where, you know, ultimately Stone Cold just has enough, and he's just like, fuck this shit. I'm just going to whoop your ass.
I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I imagine it's just a stunner to pop the crowd, because if they had an actual match, we're only 3-4 weeks away from WrestleMania. They would be advertising the match. It ain't happening. It's just going to be what it is. He's going to kick him in the stomach and give him the stunner, and that's what it is.
We have a couple new champions this week. Ricochet won the Intercontinental off of Sami Zayn. I have to think that the only reason that this happened is because they didn't want the Intercontinental Championship in the same match with Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, because they want Knoxville to go over.
Right, and they don't want Knoxville to have the Intercontinental Championship.
So make a non-title match.
Fucking Vince sitting next to me here.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess so.
Look, if I had faith that they would do good by Ricochet, I wouldn't have said that. I don't have faith.
Neither do I.
Okay.
And they did the same. They also put Cesaro in a big WrestleMania match last year.
And he's gone this year.
Against Seth Rollins, and he's already gone.
Okay.
So Seth Rollins, they're making a big deal of Seth Rollins not having anything to do with WrestleMania.
He's without a dance partner.
So,
not
like
for
one
long.
of your main eventers. This is so dumb. Like, it's like the same thing as like John Cena saying that he didn't have a WrestleMania spot. Like, one of your main eventers ain't going to be on 2 nights of WrestleMania. You got like 9 hours to fill, and you're going to have Seth Rollins.
He's going to be on there.
This is not believable.
He's going to be on there. He's going to be on there.
If they would have put that plot point in the Batman, you probably would have liked it. But if Seth Rollins doesn't get to fight anybody, you know, it's weird not being in the same room as Zach, because when I make fun of him like this and he doesn't say anything, I'm like,
is he mad?
But if
politely muted,
motherfucker.
Next week's Raw is in Jacksonville, though.
Mm-hmm.
So are we getting Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes? Say it right now, yes or no?
Yes.
Zach, yes or no?
I'd lean yes.
I'll say no.
You're such a contrarian, dude. You over here.
I'm trying to make for good pod.
This is banned from ringside.
All right, we had some NJ New Japan Cup. You guys saw everything except for last night. There's one match that stood out to me. And it is, let's say at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Shingo.
Okay. Ishii Shingo was incredible.
Yes. It was everything you thought it was going to be.
Better than it should have been.
It was right there what it should have been. That bar was high, and it came in and off the jump.
And we have not talked about this.
No, this is the first time we've seen each other. When I found out this was going to be that main event, and Kevin Kelly said it was going to be no time limit, I was like, no time limit? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? You guys going to kill somebody over here. What the fuck?
It was incredible.
It was really good.
Zach?
What's that?
Did you watch Shingo Ishii?
I'm not there yet. No, sorry. I'm looking forward to it. I heard it was a great match, but I'm trying to watch everything. I was gonna just watch like the highlights, but
you need to watch this one.
Break. I took a big break after. No, I mean I was trying to not watch just the matches that I thought that I should watch, because I took a big break after Wrestle Kingdom. So I started back on with the anniversary show. And then I'm trying to watch the full shows of the New Japan. So I'm about to watch Death Be Okada. That's how far behind I am, thanks to the Batman.
Good job, Robert Patterson.
Yeah, you should watch that one. It's good.
Yeah, that's probably the best one so far.
There was another match out of the four New Japan cards that I watched today. Ishii Shingo was the best match.
Yeah.
The second best match, which I almost fast forwarded through. I was like, I don't care about this match. Was Shima Kanemaru.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Quiet as kept, it was really good.
It was fucking great.
It was really good. I want Shima to have a couple more dubs going through this thing.
It was one of those matches where you're like, I don't care about this match. And you start watching it, and you're like, oh, no, I'm kind of getting into it. And by the end of it, I was like, fuck, yeah, this fucking match rules.
Kanemaru doesn't get the respect I think he deserves until he becomes like Best of Super Juniors, and then he reminds me how good he really is.
He turns it on every now and then. Yeah. I mean, that's why I want to watch the full card, because like last night I could have just watched Death v Okada because I knew that match was great, but then like I would have missed Nagata and Goto, which was awesome.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean Goto,
he rises to the occasion, man. In tournament situations,
we've said this before during G1s a lot of times. Like when Goto feels like it,
he can turn it on.
Yeah. So the one night that you guys haven't watched, I'm telling you that Tanahashi Bad Luck Fale is definitely a Bad Luck Fale match.
You can tell me who won. I don't care. It's not going to hurt me one way or the other.
Well, Tanahashi
is the perfect opponent for Fale because he is like the best seller in wrestling right now.
Guys,
like,
I'm joking around. I'm not watching that fat fuck watch. fat fucking guy. Guy looks like,
he's just trying to help Bad Luck Fale right now who's listening to the podcast.
He looks like a pregnant Tongan Jericho.
Stop, dude. He's like 6'10". I mean, goddamn, he's going to weigh 340.
I mean, it was not it's not what you watch New Japan for. I was joking around. I didn't think that you guys were going to bite on that. You guys are fucking marks.
It's not New Japan. What do you expect?
Are we getting a KO Stone Cold Steve Austin match, or are we just getting a KO show?
Dude, we just talked about it. KO show.
We're not getting a match.
Show. It'll be a segment where Stone Cold eventually drops KO like a bad habit.
I'm saying we're getting a match.
You hoping we getting a match?
This is banned from ringside.
Hey guys, we got some birthdays this week.
As he flashes me the dirty look.
Luchasaurus is 37. That's a great question for a dinosaur.
You mean 65 million and 37?
Joe,
this motherfucker.
I think Jurassic is even older than that. JoJo is 28. That's Mrs. Bray Wyatt, right?
Yes.
They still together?
I would assume so.
I love true love.
God bless him.
Mae Young would have been 99.
Would have been 99.
Did she get canceled, or was that the other one?
No, that was the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, Moolah is the worst.
Moolah, yeah. Kenta is 41.
Get healed up, Kenta. I know you over there just still broken from Wrestle Kingdom, fractured hip, the whole shebang. So, yeah, get well soon. Get back and start causing a little chaos in New Japan again.
Matt Jackson is 37. Do you know which one that is?
Yes, I do. Do you know which one that is?
Fuck no.
See why you fucking with me.
Is that the older one or the younger one?
Jesus Christ.
Matt's the older one.
I tell you what, Patriot Pat and Lucha Chris and Dog 1118 or whatever, they always fuck with me on Twitter.
As well they should.
And they like show a picture of him, and I look at them, and I look at them, and I look at them, and I'm like, those are the same people. Those are identical twins. They just look so much alike.
Not even close.
All right, Santino Marella is 48. Can you tell the difference between him and Tamina?
A little bit, yeah.
Pervert. Iron Sheik is 80.
Great fucking Twitter follow, man. God damn.
Motherfucker's 80.
Dude, I think he can come back and kick somebody's
ass.
Does
his own Twitter, too.
Yeah, I love it.
He's hilarious.
Dude, gotta follow him.
Jordan, you follow Dick Butkus?
Like the real Dick Butkus?
Oh, my God. He's incredible. He's so funny, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I promise.
I would have never guessed.
Jordan Devlin is 32. Did he get spoken out?
Yes. Yeah. He's over at NXT UK now.
He's over
still working
with Marty Skrull and having tea time with Marty Skrull.
Did you guys see that? NXT sign somebody named A Kid?
No, they didn't sign him.
Dude,
They brought him over from
yeah.
UK.
But his
A
name's
Kid also got me too, but like A Kid is like a phenomenal wrestler. Like there's some matches with him and like Ricochet in Spain. I don't know the promotion, but you can YouTube them.
all I saw is that
five-star matches.
all I saw is that they signed a
kid.
and somebody said, "Good thing they dropped Velveteen Dream."
Oh, cold-blooded.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman, 26 this week.
Jesus Christ.
Who knew?
Eat shit, man.
Rabbit fever.
Hey, everybody, we know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For Vice,
Check.
for Tender Mahal.
Check.
Wrestling at the Grandel.
Check.
STL versus the world.
We taking over the world,
For
baby.
my
Check.
nephew, Cash Bueller.
Check.
Did I forget anybody?
Your sister? Your wife?
For my sister, whatever. For my wife.
Your daughter?
Black Lives Matter.
Check.
Support your local weed
Check.
dealers. Support your local
Check.
restaurants. For 2 beers, Zach
Check.
Bowman. For Jason Cornelius,
Me
Bill,
too,
I'm Bill
bitches.
Bacon. Everybody, boo the heels.